Okay. Um, well, welcome back, all of you. My mouse has stopped working, so uh, okay. All right. So today, um, today we'll be doing like setting up well, we've already set up our project, but then one thing we also have to discuss is then using Prisma and doing and building out the database and all that. So we're going to go through a quick I'm going to go through quick examples, probably like two examples and like the common things that you do in Prisma, and I'll provide you resources that you can use to use Prisma, if that makes sense. So last time we talked about setting up the project, and I'm pretty sure that we um, we all know how to define routes, how to make the services. Well, there's a service in here, but sure, how to make the services. I bet we all understand dependency injection by now. We all know how to do the middleware, and yeah, all that. I think also what we're going to go through is the loaders. No, is it the loaders? The config. We're supposed to have a config in here. So I think we'll also go through that before we go through the what? Before we go through the what is it? Before we go to the database stuff, we're going to go through the config because one way or the other, we're going to need the config for our database because, and we're also going to go through env files. Okay, sure. So um, yeah, I don't believe that anyone I don't believe that you have questions from the last class, but if you do, please speak now or hold your peace, but do speak now. So yeah, if there's any question, we'll be happy to answer that. If there is not, we start in. Sure. So I do have okay, I don't recommend it, but I do have this boilerplate here on my GitHub, right? This is, let's say, this is everything that, okay, this thing that we're learning here, this template here is from my boilerplate. This is like what I use. So whenever I'm creating like a backend project, I just clone this one because I already did this and I don't have to be doing it over and over. So I have this boilerplate. So at some point, if you need like to see how I do some things, then you can check out this boilerplate and all that. But I do recommend that for now you build this from scratch every time. But yeah, and some of the things that I'll be referencing, like the TS config, I'm going to take it from here. Okay, so in case maybe you missed something and you didn't see something properly, it's in my boilerplate here. Sure. Um, okay. So let's start by building the project. So building the project, we're going to go through we're going to go through it like with two examples. The first one is using TypeScript. So TypeScript provides us a way to build this project because most of your web developers here, and you've used JavaScript, and maybe you've wondered, I don't know if you have wondered that, why haven't you ever used TypeScript in your like web development, like vanilla development, something like that. Um, I think, what am I trying to say? Okay, you've always used JavaScript and you've never used TypeScript because even let me say even though TypeScript has been there for a while, I think it was created in 2012 or something like that. But it's not used in like web development like that because it is TypeScript and the browser um, understands or uses JavaScript, right? So there might be cases that you're building your project, your TypeScript project, but maybe you're building for a browser, so it's not going to run. Um, so what we do is that we build out this TypeScript project to JavaScript. Okay, so TypeScript provides a way of building our project to JavaScript. Okay, in case you're running in a space that only supports JavaScript or for whatever reason, and in most cases, also even your backend, you don't. Some people may not recommend that you run TypeScript directly because at the end of the day, it still has to convert a TypeScript file to a JavaScript file and then run that JavaScript. So to what to reduce that overhead, you just have to compile your TypeScript to JavaScript and then run the JavaScript directly. Okay. So in our tsconfig file, there's going to be something called out. This one, um, out dir out directory. Yeah, this is the output directory. So let's just have it as build. Okay. If we have it like build here, so it's going to create a folder in here, right? And how to build a TypeScript project, we just say tsc like that. Okay. Once you see that the command has run, so this is like the TypeScript build command, tsc, and you see here now we have a build folder, which we have specified that our output is going to be going to the build folder. Now you see that we have what? We have the Java. So this is the TypeScript that we have. For example, the auth controller here, which is the auth controller in here. See, so this code is types, or so we can say that this is TypeScript code, right? But then this same code from TypeScript to JavaScript, this is the code. Okay, so you can just run this directly. So okay, so we have built our what? The output is in the build there, right? So instead of running the server from the CRC, we can then let's go to the build folder, right? And we can say node server.js. See, this one is we are running this from the JavaScript, and I think this is even faster than most times when we're trying to run our TypeScript. I think so. Okay. So TypeScript, mostly you're just going to use it for. Yeah, sure.
I'm sorry. Are you saying could we can run TypeScript alongside JavaScript? Is that your point?
Not really. You can run
But
you can run type you can run TypeScript directly, but in most cases you're supposed to be running JavaScript. Okay, so you use TypeScript for development, and then you compile that to JavaScript here, and then you run the JavaScript.
okay, okay, I get it.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, this is how you then run your what your your what your JavaScript. Sure. Um, we can leave it here, and I think in most cases, and also what do I want to say? Okay, in most cases this is okay, right? But then I have found that maybe the best way that uh, the way that I use, and I think maybe that might be the best way. So I'm just going to teach you that way, okay? Because I have to teach you what I actually use. Okay, so I use a bundler. You don't have to understand that part. I think when you're watching the recording, you can watch it and over. You can rewatch it and all that. Is it important? Sure, it's important. But at the end of the day, what it's going to do is going to output the type the what the build folder as well, and output the JavaScript from our TypeScript. So the bundler that I use, you're going to maybe if you code in React, if you code in like these web frameworks, you're going to go through. We're going to find some what some bundlers like Vite. There's I think Bubble as well is a bundler or build tools as they call them. Yeah, but Vite I think is like the most popular one, and there's also RSpec. But then I use TSUp. So Pauline, a question. I want to install a development event. I want to install a development dependency. What's the command? Pauline or by say what you're the only two. Okay.
Um, Sorry. Can you please come
Mm-hmm.
again? You're breaking a
I
bit.
want to I want to install a development dependency. What's the command?
Npm install mm, dash dash save dash dev. And then you put
Cool. Great. Yeah, that's good. So I use TS up, right? While it installs, I'm going to create I'm going to create a file here, which is tsapp.config.ts. So this is where we configure the TS app thing. Um, Also, okay, okay, TS app has finished installing, and I'm going to copy the configuration from the boilerplate. Okay, like that. So uh, here as well, we're saying that the TS app should be the TS app should be sorry, the TS app should output the JavaScript output the compiled TypeScript into the build folder. Okay, you can have this as however you want, but mostly people say build or dist something like that because you distribute this. So this is the code that you can run in the server and all that and all that. So yeah, the output. Okay, for the target, we're going to use ES 2022. Um, Basically, I think this is the most compatible version of JavaScript, right? So if you use something like, I don't know if there's 2023, 2024, maybe you might find some environments or some browsers that do not support that flavor of JavaScript or that version of JavaScript. So ES22 is like the what? The the safe one. Okay, we have DTS here for our TypeScript declarations and clean that. Okay, clean that every time we're trying to build, it should clean out the folder and then do a fresh what, a fresh rebuild. Here, minify is that it should only compile the code that is actually being used. So all the files that are not being used will not uh, go into the compilation or into the compiled code, something like that, if it makes sense. And here we have the output. Sorry, here we have the entry file. So
No,
the
it
entry
doesn't.
file. What did you say?
It doesn't make sense.
The minify one.
Yeah, can you start all over?
Okay. Okay, I think I can use this as an example. Okay. All right. You see here, right? In our source folder, yeah, we have
Mm-hmm.
our code here. We have our code here. We have like these files. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Even in the roots here, we have a version one folder which has the auth folder. We have files in here, and we have the
Mm-hmm.
users folder. There's no files in here. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, if you go to the build, you're going to see that there is no source folder here because there are no files in there. So it's like it has minified the code that only the things that we use are the things that are being built. Okay, so in a way, to minify is to like what what is being used is what's going to be compiled so that it should have like a small size, like to minify it.
Is it
That
coming
makes
from the
sense.
word minimize?
Something like that.
Yeah.
So on the route part of the TypeScript, we do not minify. We only minify on the build.
Okay. No, this has been minified in a way that the users here, it didn't end up in the compiled code. Even all these folders, because there's nothing that we're using here. It didn't go to the build folder.
So,
Dabalika.
mm, mm, okay.
Pauline, you need to say something.
Yeah. My question is, first of all, what I know, like the things that I know that are not supposed to be included in our building code, my
Mm-hmm.
development dependencies, those things. So
Mm-hmm.
now, up are like so are does it mean that the things that are not included in the build folder are part of the dependencies?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Maybe. Okay.
how do you know what to minify and what not to minify? You have to
Yeah.
consider. Ehen.
Okay, it's not you knowing what to minify or not to. When you're building the what? There's a comment here from Victor Peter. Is he in here?
From who?
Victor Peter.
We're only girls here.
Oh, okay. So minifying is not you knowing what's being minified. Is that when you write out your code, okay? I think this will make sense with the bundler because I'm explaining something about a bundler using like TSC. Bro, he's watching on YouTube. Oh wow.
You've been hacked.
Is
Uh,
it live? Oh, it's
Someone
I
hacked
live.
don't
you.
know.
It's live.
We,
Ne,
we are
okay,
hearing on
even
YouTube.
but I think on Innocensia's YouTube. Let me check.
All right, no problem. Welcome. Yeah, welcome. Okay, so let's go through the example with the TS up. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so uh, let's let's do this. Where's that thing?
We really are live on YouTube.
Nice.
Wow. And someone is watching us.
Okay, okay. So like this, right? I think the command for the what for to build this with TS up is just TS up. Okay. It's not installed properly.
You're installing TS app. What does it do? I'm just
Uh,
getting confused and sorry.
it's it's the bundler that we're using to. I said that we can use TypeScript to build what to build our TypeScript code to JavaScript, or we can use a bundler. So I use a bundler. So that's the example that I'm going to show. I'm going to give you. I'm going to show you. Okay.
Oh,
So
okay. So
if we
can you go
say
back? Uh,
okay, if we did I specify something wrong in here? Okay, yeah. So it's supposed to be server.ts. What do you mean? TS app. Oh, sorry. I'm in the wrong folder. I'm in the build folder. So I'm supposed to be in like the root folder here. Okay, let's try TS app again. Or okay, sure. Now it's like the code to what to JavaScript. Okay. Now you're going to see that it has done something different from what from the tsc command. Now we only have one folder, one file here, right? So this is like the what the the JavaScript thing. I don't know if you can see that. Y'all can see this, right? So this is the output. So I think minifying really works best here. It only includes the things that we're using. Even if you have like a file that you have in here, but it is not being referenced, something like that, it is not going to go into the what? Into the output. Okay, so let's try this. Uh, node build server. Yes. Yeah, works fine. Sure. So let's move from here. Please, if you have questions, ask because we're moving from here. Okay. So the commands to run what? Oh, sorry. One more thing. The TS config. All right. So the TS config, I recommend you do check um, these things, but I'm just going to paste it here, and I'm going to try to explain what's what.
sir,
Okay.
the the tsconfig.json, it got generated after installing which command or after installing which package?
This
Because
one is
I only what?
TSC init. This is when we're initializing TypeScript, like with TSC init,
Yeah,
it creates this file.
not the .ts file.
No, this TS app is the one that we have created just now for the TS app bundler. but then this ts config.json is it was created with the TSC init.
It was the existing one,
What do you mean existing one?
but it has been there when we were doing the TypeScript code.
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
So I think I'm going to send you like a video that you can watch what's what here. But the important thing that we have is the what is the decorators, experimental decorators. We also have, I think I should also have strict in here. Is strict in here. Okay, let's not take much time here. I'm going to send you a video. You're going to learn about the TS config and what's what. Okay. Let's see now. I think it's supposed to be having some errors. I don't know why it's not. Okay, cool. So to run our commands, we're going to use scripts. So Reshma, where do we define our scripts to? If we want to run stuff, where do we define our scripts?
Huh?
If we want to run stuff, where do we define our scripts?
What do you mean? Why do we define our script?
You haven't been paying attention, yeah?
No, I've been here. Romano, your question is confusing. Or you mean could in the server file?
We want to define that. Let's say we want to say that if we run something, let's say build, we want that it should
Mm.
do something. Where do we define that script?
In the in the server file.
Not quite. Pauline,
Mm, in the package JSON file.
yeah. Why are you doubting? Yes, it's in the
I'm not
package.json
sure.
file.
I
Okay.
wasn't sure because I just used it like you mentioned last time. Anyway.
All right. So we're going to have, let's remove node one from here. We're going to have build, which is the one that we've just, I showed you, the one that created this folder here, which is going to be ts up, right? We're going to have, let's make it fancy, dev start, okay, which is going to be ts up watch. So if we have watch here, meaning to say that um, when we change our code, it's going to like rebuild. Okay. So then we also have this that on success, right? So on success, what should it do after it finishes like building, right? So we're going to create another. We're going to have another command here, which is going to be dev run. Okay. So the difference between this and this, dev start is going to run our what? Our sorry, dev start is going to build our what? Our TypeScript to JavaScript, while dev run is going to run the JavaScript. Okay, so let me do this. Let's say, okay, we'll not env development. I think I should also explain about environments. I think after this, build and server.js. Okay. I don't know if it's going to use common.js, but yeah, let's say server.js like that. Okay. So now you see this, right? This run here is running this folder. It's running this file, right? So meaning to say that here, when we say dev start, it's going to build out the JavaScript, and once it's done on success, it's going to now run this one to then run that JavaScript. So technically, we're building in the TypeScript. We're building the TypeScript here, but what we are running every time, even in development, is the JavaScript. Okay. If that confused you a little bit, please speak now. So here we were going to say now npm run now this command. So it's dev run like that. Okay. So to show you what I mean, let's start with this one, the dev run. So npm run dev run like that. You see, it's running the JavaScript. Okay. So that's working. Now on dev start, npm run dev start, it's building out the TypeScript. After it has finished building, now it's running the JavaScript from that build folder. Okay, so here the server has started, and we're running the JavaScript part. So let's say that we say ports here. Okay, after I've saved it, now because we are watching for changes, it has rebuilt the TypeScript into the JavaScript into the build folder, outputting the JavaScript, and then we're running that JavaScript as well. Something like that. Make sense?
Wait.
Yeah.
Please
Okay.
go back.
Okay, now I'm getting questions. This is what I like. Okay, so we have two commands in here, right?
No, wait. I have a question. I have an question before you. Maybe we'll have to explain again rather, for the sake of other people. But my question was, I thought you said the run is what runs the JavaScript, right?
Yeah.
Is that what you said? Yeah. So why are you going to execute the dev run first before the dev start? How can someone start before they start running? How can something start running before they start?
Can
Is
you
my
can
question
you
making
rephrase
sense?
can you rephrase your question? I'm using dev start to do this.
Dev starter.
Yeah,
So
I'm using
dev start starts first.
Yes.
That command starts first,
Then
and then the dev run.
what?
So that's
Then yeah.
what
Continue.
does it? Okay, please. I think you just explain again.
Okay, sure. Reshma, what was your question? Maybe I can answer them all at once.
I Mesa, you were asking if it's queer, and I was like, yeah, it's queer.
Okay, sure. So for the sake of everyone else, um, dev start, right? We can say dev build, dev jump, whatever, right? So this is up to us. Okay, so don't get confused with the question to try to get a meaning out of them, some like literally. Okay, so dev start, right? I showed you a command ts up that compiled or transpiled. I think it's transpiled. I don't know, transpiled or compiled our TypeScript to the what? To JavaScript in the build folder, which we have specified in the ts app config, right? Sure, that makes sense. Okay, so here, right, we're saying ts app watch. All right. Sorry, before I explain this, let me explain the dev start. The dev start here, what it's doing, it's just running the JavaScript file, which we have been doing all along, right? Just doing node the file, and it's running like that. Okay, so this has been happening like that. We've been using this command. So this command is running the what? The server.js in the build folder. Okay, sure. Now the ts up
Can I be
watch.
excused? Can I be excused? I have
No
received
problem.
bad news.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. All right. So the what? The ts up watch, right? Builds the what? Builds our project from TypeScript to JavaScript. Okay. Now the watch flag here is that every time a TS file change in here, right? Or let's say a TS file that is connected to the server.js in a way, because remember we're using Minify, so we're only doing so we're only comparing things that we're using, right? So anytime a file that we anytime a file is changed in here, it's going to rebuild. Okay, it's going to use ts up to rebuild. Now after it builds, okay, and also it's watching for changes. So after this builds, right, that means we're going to have the folder, this folder here. Okay, now on success of that build, meaning to say that the TypeScript has built successfully, and we have the output folder here, run npm dev run, which is just going to then run that output server.js. Make sense?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It does.
Yeah, so that basically that's what's happening right now. Okay,
Mm. So the TS app is for that.
the TS app mostly is for like creating this. Okay, so you say it's different from the way TSC was doing it. So the TS app is for basically this, let's say it's for building and also for running, both of them.
Mhm. Okay.
Okay, yeah. So now that we have that out of the way, I don't know if Slivia is here or in the chat. Okay, so let's continue. Now we're going to have something called .env. Okay, I do use separate envs like .development uh, or production, something like that. But for this one, we're just going to use .env. So what an env is, right? It's an environment. Okay, env, that's environment. It's an environment file. So basically, an env holds things that are supposed to be secret. Okay. How I can explain that? Let's say that we're building a backend that deals with payments. Okay. So let's say that we're using Stripe or we're using Airtel Money, right? And Airtel Money gives us an API key. Normally, we do not want to include, well, security-wise, we do not want to include that API key directly in the code. Okay. Also, that env does not, and we don't also want to that file that thing to go to GitHub because it's a secret, right? So we put those things in an env file, so we can have, let's say, um, Stripe API here, and you can have the API key like that. Okay, so this. right, is not part of the code, and we also not it's not also going to go to GitHub. If we have something here called git, sorry, git ignore. I don't think this is the right spelling. Ignore. Okay, like that. Okay. So let's just do git in it.
Just a little announcement if it's necessary. Reshma has left us because she has lost her grandpa.
No, I'm sorry for her. I'll, I'll definitely text after. Okay. All right. So, okay. So, we do, okay, you see where I've run the command git init, right, to initialize our project, because I need to see, I wanted to see this highlighting here. So I don't know how familiar you are with the git ignore, but basically the git ignore is this we describe here the files that we do not want that they should go to GitHub. I don't know if that's making sense, but if I say like node modules, okay, we basically do not want the node modules, because to get them we can run npm install, and they're actually a large file. So all these 2000 things here, they're from the node modules, so we do not want that. Okay, so if we have node modules like that, now you see that the node modules will be ignored. It will not go to GitHub. Hence now we only have like 15 now from 2000. Okay, because this is not going to go to GitHub. Right. Um, and also we're going to say .env. Now you see that also this one is grayed out. Uh, this one is also grayed out. Okay. Uh, this one has been grayed out because this one also, is not going to go to GitHub. So that's basically the purpose of the uh, uh, .ignore file. Okay. So before we go to Prisma, let's um, let me show you um, how we use the .env file here. So all right. So to use environment variables in Node.js, you have to install a package called .env, like that.
You said what?
To use these environment variables in Node.js, okay, you first have to install the .env package. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So now, in our config folder, let's have index.ts. All right. We are going to import uh, .env from .env, like that. And we're going to say, okay, let's not do that. Okay, we're going to say that const env file dot env dot config. The path is the .env1. It's just .env, yeah. Yeah, just .env. And we're going to say if env file. So because this one does not go to like to GitHub, most cases you're going to then forget that you're going to think that maybe it's there. So it's always like uh, um, good to check if you have that .env file. Okay, so if that env file is not there, does not exist, we're going to uh, throw an error, right? Which we're going to say, please include, uh, let's say, an env file or a valid env file. Okay, something like that. After we get past this, that means we have the env file. Then this is the way I like to do it. We're just going to export. Let's export default. Okay, so let's say that we have, or let's say that we have database URL in here, right? Database URL. And here we're going to say database URL, right? And to now get the value of the env here, we say process dot env, then the what? Then the name of the variable. So in this case, it's like database URL. Okay, so we have it like that. Yeah, that's that. And also, what I like is I'm just going to use this for like an example. And I also in my setups I also do this. So let's say we're running on port, I don't know. Okay, let's just say 2039, something like that. Okay, so in here I'm going to say port, right? Process dot env dot port. Okay, that's the port that we have in our env file. So now to use this, we can go to our server.ts, and instead of manually like having this in here, we can say this it will be config, right? And we have to make sure that we're importing from config here, config dot port. Okay, so now here also it's going to be config dot port. So now we are using the variable in our env file here. So if this is true, it should run on port 2039. Okay, so npm run dev start. Yep, see, it's running on port 2039. It's now it's using the env file. Okay, so if we have like an API key here, if we have like some secret keys that okay, now also like just for like an example, yeah, what we were doing with like authentication, like the secret keys and all that, this is where we store those access secret keys to create our JWTs. If you remember, we were having them directly in our code, but then we do not want that in our code because that's like secret information that is not supposed to be exposed to the public. So we can have them in here, like the access, sorry, access secret key. which can be whatever, whatever. And to use that, you can use it like this. Then you're going to have it in the config, and then you can use it in your code like this. Okay, hope that makes sense.
It does, but can you please explain again on what happened, what you did on the config file, the ANV stuff?
Okay, okay. Um, to use I say to use envs, you have to import this. Okay, so now here I'm just like I can say this is like the config to get the env file. Okay, so the path here you're going to um, say you're going to put here the path of your env file, which is this one .env. Okay, if it's env.production, here also you're going to say env.production, whatever, whatever. Okay, so now um, we have the file. Okay, if there are any errors, right, with that file, we're throwing an error here because we do not want to continue um, from here because our app relies on information that is in the env. So if the env is invalid, we should not be able to run this. Okay, if we get past here, that means we have a valid env. Now we're just exporting the values in our what? Sorry, we are here. We're exporting the values from our env, and we're just having like a nice way of using them here. So like this. So we're going to use this object, which is going to have our values here so that we can use them in our code. If we did not want to use them like this, we would have um, we would have been using them like this, process.env.port. So this is taking directly from the env file, but we've just created a simple abstraction to make sure that um, we have all our values in one place. So that's why we're creating this. Okay. So in case the database URL changes, it's not like this anymore. It's database. It's just a database, so you don't have to track down where did you have the process.env in your code. No, you can just change it here, right? And then it's going to update everywhere where you're using this database URL. So this is just a nice way of then like using your envs or configuring your envs in your code. Hope that makes sense. Any question?
No, thank you.
No, no problem. All right, so I think I have explained TS up, ENVs, the build stuff. I think now we can go to Prisma. Okay, or unless there are some things that I still have to explain. But now I think we can go to what? I think now we can go to Prisma. But before we go there, no, I think let's go to Prisma, then we're going to circle back on something. Okay, I think in the next one, because there are a lot of things that we did not do that we are supposed to do. So which one should we start, like the fundamentals, or we should go to Prisma? What's your suggestion?
To be honest, I don't know about Maria, but on my end, I am my time. I think I'm gonna have to watch the Prisma part online because I have an exam tomorrow and I have to study for it. I didn't do well last time, so I have to do better this time.
Okay, so you're saying we should go with the fundamentals and the Prisma stuff later?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't know how it's gonna feel for you, like if I leave, since it's just gonna be Maria here. So that's why I'm saying this.
Okay. All right, no problem. So
Yeah.
I'm going to go. Okay, and sure, no problem.
So what's going to happen? Are you going to continue?
Of course.
Okay. All right. I guess I can just watch the recording later on. If anything, I'm going to ask you questions in the DM.
No, no problem.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah, bye. Okay, fundamentals. There are a couple of things that we're supposed to do. Um, because we have our what? We have our okay, we have our server here, but there are a lot of configurations that we're supposed to do that we did not do. So I think let's go through that before we go to Prisma. Okay, so in let's change some things a little bit so that things should look nice, should look organized and all. All right. All right, let's start with this. We're going to refactor this a little bit. In our loaders, let's have express.loaders.ts. Right. Okay. So in here, we're going to export default. Okay, async, synchronous function. Okay, so basically the express loader here is where I'm going to be. We're going to be setting up. Um, this is where we're going to be setting up the what the express stuff. Okay, so I think that will make sense after I explain it. After we do a couple of things in here. Okay, so we're going to have app, and this app is going to be the express instance. So we can have express there. Sorry, let's just import it. Import from express like that. Okay. So right. So something that we've been doing like here, we've been registering our leaflet routes in the server.ts, so we can move this from the server.ts to the express loader. Okay, let's import this. Um, okay. We've also gone through something that okay, now this feels some type of way because I know that I'm on kind of alone here, but okay, sure. Uh, we have also gone through like body passing, that when we're using a post request, we need to pass the body, and in what in express we were using body dot express.json. So we're also going to do that here. So app.use express, oh sorry, yeah, express. So we're going to get express from here, express dot what dot json, like this. Okay. And also we have app.use express dot url encoded extended is equal to force. Okay, sure. Something else that we're supposed to do here as well is import, um, sorry, sorry, npm install course. So this one, I'm going to send a video that you should know what course is, but it's important. Okay, so we're going to do npm use, and we're going to say course like that. So we're going to import that, import course from course. I think it needs the types. So npm install serve dev types dot course. Sorry, types slash course. Okay, now that should be gone. Yeah, it's gone. Okay, something like this. What else should we do? We can use things like Morgan, and we can use also helmet. So this is because this is like something that we're actually going to deploy. So let me just do those things. You don't have to do them. I'm just doing them just because. Okay. All right. Let's go back in our env. We need to set something here. I need to set Morgan. Morgan to dev. Okay. And we need to go to our config here, and we're going to say okay, let's just say Morgan like that. Sorry, Morgan. Process.env dot Morgan like that. Okay. So now when we come here, we're going to say we're going to let's import Morgan. Import Morgan from Morgan, and we're going to import helmet from helmet. Okay, so Morgan needs type definitions. So as always, npm install serve dev types Morgan like that. Oh, why did your okay, the URL encoded.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I was asking, what did you say about URL encoded?
Okay, the URL encoded is also part of like the .json. Okay, so basically it says that it turns the middleware that only passes URL encoded bodies and only looks at requests where the content type header matches the type option. So how can I explain this? Give me a sec. Let me find a better explanation. Okay. Here it says that um, okay, it says this. Here's the explanation. Okay. What this guys? Let me bring this here. Okay. So it's saying that it converts the URL that you pass through, like the URL here. So if we have a URL encoded false, where is that? When we have the URL encoded false, only allows flat objects like this, and when we have it true, it then you can have nested um, you can have nested parameters in your URL or something like that. So it's part of the body parser, just to do with like how you're going to be parsing then the URLs. If you're going to be using, like, let's say something like this, like using the query parameters and all that. So it just helps like with the way that you're going to be handling like uh, the URLs, right? Like something like body parser, the way it handles like the body when you put the URL and encoded there, it's just like a way to define the behavior of like the parameters that you're going to be passing through the URL. So I think it's something that you can check, and I don't know if you're going to use it like that, but then you can check like which behavior is for you. I think I've always just been using force to the point that I just used this, that I really just forgot about it, like what's what. So I think that's why I didn't have like a good explanation on this one. But yeah, do check it up, I think. Okay, hope that makes sense. Okay, cool. um we have Morgan. So Morgan is for logs. I'm going to show you an example after we set it up. So app.use, right? Morgan, and we're going to get from the config. Oh, sorry, not this one. The config. Make sure you are importing the what? The one from config, and Morgan, like that. Okay. And I'm just also going to do helmet. So helmet is for security. Please check it out. Okay. So we have helmet here, and content. Let's have this as false. Do check these things as well. Let me do this. Okay. So I think this should be enough. We're going to check if it's working fine. And also please do have this at the bottom here, okay? Because if you have it here, then the endpoints might not, or if you have it like up here, then the body parser might not work because it has not been registered the time that this has been registered. So to make sure that this gets all the configurations, please have it at the bottom. Okay, sure. Now in our server here, okay, All right, let's remove this. In here, we're going to have synchronous function, start server, constant app, which is something that in this one. Forgot something. Okay, so I'm going to explain this after I write it out. Okay, and make sure that it is running. Uh, Okay. How am I even writing, guys? Okay. I was thinking of. Okay. Okay, sure. I think I'm not going to do this like that. Let's import the what? Let's import the default one here. So which is going to be let's just call it load. Okay, from loaders and index. Okay, so we're going to say let's just awaited load and okay, it needs to up like that. And here we're going to say port, and after it runs, we're going to say console.log server is running on port config.port like that. So we're also going to handle that when when something happens. So on error, okay, going to handle the error. I'm going to get the error, which is error like that, and okay. So the message why thing failed is going to be dot message. Okay, and we're going to process dot exit. So exit with error code 1. Okay, so we're going to remove this. All right, let's see. Let's test this out if it's working. Sure, let's test this out if it's working. So it's npm run dev start. Uh, yeah, sure. Uh, everything is run. Everything is run. Okay, everything is running. Everything is running fine. All right, sure. Everything is fine here, right? All right, so let's make this a little bit more complicated just for fun. Let's have something called the loader.ts. Okay. Um, let's have something like this. You don't have to do this. This is just me. And we're going to import that, and let's have something like this. Okay. All right. Now we have like a better log there when our server is running. So yeah, I think the setup, what I wanted to set up for the fundamentals that I was talking about is the JSON, the body passing, right? The course, which I'm going to send you a video on that. Morgan is for logging. So let's say that I'm connecting a browser here, right? So let's say that let's say we go to localhost um, 20, 2039. Okay, so I went to this thing, get here, and you see that we've got a log here from this is Morgan. Okay, so it said that there was a get request to that URL, and we decided as with a 404, and it took 8 milliseconds. So let me go to version 1, uh, auth, and um, log in, right? Same thing. So it's logging our routes, like the ones that we're trying to access. So that's Morgan right there. And helmet is security stuff, and I'm going to send you a video on that. So I think that's that. We have set up tiers. We've learned about uh, building. Okay, let me explain these things that I was doing. Okay, so here is the normal setup of the Express app that we've been doing. Okay, so I've just switched it from just having it in the file to like a function. Okay, here we're running the function. Give me a sec. Okay, so here's the function, runs the function. So here we take in the what? We take it, so here we take in a function. Sure, we call a function and we give it app. So this load function is this one. Okay, so this one calls the express loader. Right? We can do a couple things here if we need to do a couple things there, right? And the express loader, right, registers the body parser. Okay, registers the course, which is course origin resources. If you're curious, registers the Morgan, the helmet, and our roots. Okay, so then our roots, we have our roots there. All right. So I hope that makes sense, and I hope that you practice this. We're not going to go to Prisma because, yeah, because none of you are here. I don't know if the I don't know if the YouTube friend is still there.
What do you mean? I am here.
Okay. I thought I'm here with only like the person who was watching on YouTube.
No, I'm here. And I
Okay,
wanted to
yep. Okay, sure, ask.
um is I'm going to take you back a little bit. Is that okay?
No, no problem.
You were saying about Morgan.
Mhm.
Morgan. You said Morgan is a middleware.
Uh, yeah, we're using it as a middleware here. So this we use for middlewares. So here we're using it as a middleware. Yes.
So how what did you say like how Morgan interacts with the helmet?
Okay, it does not interact with the helmet. Uh, Morgan is its own thing. Helmet is its own thing. What Morgan is doing is logging. I gave an example. Let's say that here I'm going to uh, or version 1 auth login, right? So you see the logs that are here in the terminal here. Okay, that's Morgan right there. Okay, helmet is about security. Like it hides, for example, it hides where, like what type of web server that we're using. So let's say without this, right? Without Morgan here, sorry, without Helmet here, people can know that okay, this the backend that we're using is Express. Okay, so they can, let's say if they want to attack our backend, they can use things that they know that work when attacking like an Express backend. Okay, but then when, for example, one of the uses of like helmet, if we have helmet here, it hides that we're using Express. So people it might be harder for them to attack our backend because they do not know. Maybe they think that we're using Python, so they'll be doing attacks that are for Python, but then we're not using Python. Okay, so that's one of the uses for like helmet. It has like a bunch of uses. Just that's just an example for like just like the basic example I can give you. Okay,
Okay.
next
So
question.
what other alternatives can we use apart from Morgan?
Depends on what you want to do.
Okay, so we can use Morgan in development mode, like
Okay, this, yes, you can use in development mode. Okay, I think that's why also I have in the .env, I have it as development. I think you're not really going to need it in production, so I think you can use that in development. But then you can also use it in development in some way that if you want to check the logs, like if you want to check the logs while this backend is in like development to see that which logs are being accessed like that. I think you can find a way to make that useful as well. But then if you want an alternative, I think there's also Winston. I think Winston is also a logger. Let me just check. So there's Morgan and Winston. Let me check what Winston is. Yes. Uh, Winston is for logging as well, but it's used as a log transporter. So that's like another topic when you're dealing with like logging tools like Grafana Rocky, something like that. Any question? Or let's say any other question?
um on the loaders. You said
Uh-huh.
you are importing loaders. I think some file you are importing loaders, and the other one you are importing these loaders. On there, I don't understand. Like those are two different things. Like it's not one thing.
Here I'm saying load. I've just named. Okay, let's just name this to load. something like that. Okay, here, this is the first one. Okay, then this one, the function is this one, and this one is then loading the express loaders here. Okay,
Okay.
yes. So here you can have other loaders here. So it's just an abstraction. You can have other loaders. So yeah, just to keep it clean, that you don't have to then load all your loaders in here. No, make
Okay.
sense?
Yes.
Any other question?
Um, so I don't know if you explained. I was in motion the time you were explaining about loaders. So say like how the load function will know which loader to run, like in that file. Like how do they know that you have to run this loader? I don't know if I'm making sense.
Okay. The server, we have this loader function, right? We are passing the app. This loader function, right, we're exporting it. We're exporting as default. So it's this default function here. So this function is then calling the express loaders, which is then these. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not good. How is it going to know? No, we have defined which things that we wanted to load.
Ah, okay. That's
Okay, and yeah, also, and another example on those people that were asking about like what minifying, what it does. Okay, so I think now I have like a good example. Okay, so you see, we have this file here, yeah? Users.control.ts. This file, we have not registered it yet in the what? In the in the register here, right? So I said that our entry point is the server here. The server is then is then going to the loader and to the express loader and then to the register register roots. So the register roots here is using the auth controller. Okay, now check when I change something here, let's say auths. Okay, I changed something that the server is using. Okay, so like all those connection, this thing is being used. Okay, but then in here, right, we do not have the user's controller. Okay, so I changed something in auth. It something changed. Okay, fingers crossed. Okay, now if I change this and I've saved it, notice nothing is happening. Okay, because this file, it is not connected to the server. That means this has been minified out. It is not going to be, it is not being used. That's why it is not being refreshed. Okay, because it is I can say useless, sure, in that sense. But then notice that if, okay, let's have v1 users. Okay, but then if we require it here, sorry, if we add it here and say users controller. Okay, now it has been referenced here, which this is connected to the entry, which is the server, right? Now, if I make changes in the auth controller now, notice now that it is what? It is rebuilding because it is now being used by the what? By the server. So now it is not, now it has not been left out. Now it's in the output. So that's what minifying does. Things that are not being used, they do not go to the output. Yeah. clap hands. Any other question, Maria, before we close?
No, no question.
Okay then. I do not know if we're going to have another class tomorrow because yesterday we did not have a class. So, Maria says this is confusing in the chat. If anyone else is confused, you can ask questions. I'll be happy to help. But this has been fun. Okay. All right, then. Good night.
Good night.